Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, Boston-based Fidelity Investments, a multinational financial services firm with $2.8 trillion in assets under management, says its test of an Ethereum-based token to power an internal reward system for its employees is a success. Fidelity's Center for Applied Technology, or FCAT, the company's research and development arm, partnered with TokenSoft, a blockchain technology platform, to create an ERC 1404 token, according to a press release. The token launched in June using a closed-loop reward system designed to incentivize employee attendance at internal events. That means nobody wanted to go. And other activities. This was said by the manager at FCAT, Yuri Bolovic. Our team was excited to test this new token with Fidelity's club members for employees. It's a real use case for restricted tokens and gives them an opportunity to get hands-on experience with tokens, wallets, and other blockchain technology to understand how it works and how we might apply this in other areas. End quote. TokenSoft builds enterprise-grade tools for companies that are entering the tokenized economy. The company focuses on compliance issues and security, working with attorneys and leaders in the space to build its open architecture white label token issuance platform. And then the rest of it is talking about security, yada, yada, yada. The point being, a lot of, how do I say this? This further helps to solidify the idea that I had that major institutions, regardless of how slow it might be going, are still building on top of and or using things that are associated with Ethereum. The main idea was that last year, even the year before that, is that by now Ethereum would have had its upgrades faster, cooler, better, 3,000 transactions per second, whoop-de-doo. It does not have them yet. However, during the exact same time when we were getting news that it would be delayed, it would take a lot longer, a number of institutions and countries, I think Brazil and Russia being two of the main ones that I can think of off the top of my head, who have like built laws or something like that, or written laws on top of Ethereum, continue to do so, especially with other corporations, while Ethereum's price sank. And a lot of people started throwing around stuff on the internet talking about how much they hated Ethereum and how it was garbage, yada, yada. The point being, apparently it's not that much garbage because Fidelity has built a token on top of it that they're using to reward their employees. Can you imagine having to be rewarded to go to a meeting that you just don't want to go to? That means that nobody wanted to go to it. Anyway, here's the actual press release. It says Fidelity Center for Applied Technology completes proof of concept with TokenSoft, automating compliance with ERC 1404. I tried looking around. For those of you who don't know, there's something called the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. It is pretty much for enterprises, large corporations, companies, banks, yada, 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 who have dedicated themselves or have signed, I don't know if they signed paperwork, I don't know exactly what the criteria was, to pretty much say that they, in the future, would either be using Ethereum, using something based on Ethereum, or using the platform blockchain in some sort of way to write something, anything that has to do with something blockchainy. They said that they would do it on Ethereum. They have like a couple hundred members, and I was looking to see if Fidelity was actually one of those members. One, I couldn't find any information, but what I did find is this, which is actually quite fascinating. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says one of the world's largest financial service firms is mining Bitcoin. And I was like, oh, I didn't hear about that at all. That's kind of weird. And I looked at the date right below it, and it says 24th of May, 2017. This, I believe, when completely under the radar, definitely under the radar. How anyone can think that major firms and banks aren't already into Bitcoin or into crypto as a whole is completely beyond me. I think what a lot of 2017 was just like, oh my gosh, the price is going up, we have to buy. And a lot of news stories like this, I think, completely not even missed the mark. I think people just simply forgot about them. This is 2017. It's almost 2020. This is about a good, 2 years, 2.5 years, something like that, that Fidelity has gotten into Bitcoin before. I mean, it's anyway. The entire point being, crypto adoption is relatively huge. I think a lot of times, once again, what ends up happening is that people get too wrapped up in the prices and they don't realize and I think it's just far beyond adoption at this point. I think it's just simply so mainstream that a lot of people are, I don't know, it's just life. The point being, Fidelity has a coin that's built on top of Ethereum that they use for their employees. And apparently for the past 2 years, Fidelity has also been mining Bitcoin unbeknownst to potentially millions, if not billions of people on this planet. Next up, Bitcoin ads are airing in France on the leading news channels. That's a weird sentence. Watchers of TF1 unexpectedly found themselves viewing Bitcoin ads promoting Keplerk's Bitcoin services in between their programming. Keplerk is a company that recently announced Bitcoin purchases in many of France's tobacco shops. Yeah, I was talking about this before. I tried to buy one of these things. It's like a little card that you have to get inside of a tobacco shop. It's very weird. And you have to like download an app. I think you scan the card and you get your Bitcoin through the app or something like that. I tried doing it before, but I think I lost patience. The advertisement runs for 18 sentences and gives a brief rundown on how Keplerk works. Twitter user, I have no idea how to even separate those, luckily managed to capture the ad on video. If you're curious, the ad aired on TF1. Here's the actual video right here. I clicked it. I can't click it in this video to let you see it. I think copyright laws, yada, yada, yada. The point is, it's an actual commercial to buy Bitcoin in France. It's like super simple. Buy from here, buy from there. You can do it. It's awesome. It's amazing. How do you not think that crypto is mainstream at this point? Like, think of, is the word objectively? Just kind of step back and think of how odd it is that there are now commercials on French TV about downloading an app and buying a digital currency that's 10 years old. Now, one of the largest financial institutions in the entire world, unbeknownst to us all, has been mining Bitcoin. And I'm going to say, in my opinion, I can only imagine that JP Morgan, definitely the New York Stock Exchange. If you think the New York Stock Exchange got into Bitcoin futures and that's all they got into, come on. Bitcoin is here to stay. It is quite obvious. I think it's really cool. I love getting news like this. I know it won't have any effect on the price because people don't logic. So, yeah. Apparently, there are now Bitcoin ads on TV in France. One would assume we'd have a bit of a 3.5% markup in price on Bitcoin. But yeah, let's move on. Why doesn't whatever. Let's move on. Almost started ranting, but I won't because I'm a better person now. Major cryptocurrency exchange Binance announced in a blog post on the 28th of November that it partnered with crypto travel startup Travel by Bit to launch a reward card that facilitates crypto payments on major travel websites. Per the announcement, the card will function like a traditional prepaid card with access to additional discounts and rewards that users will be able to load with Bitcoin, Binance USD. I didn't know there was a Binance USD. Anyway, there's a Binance USD coin, a Binance coin, and Ontology. What a weird fourth coin. The card will also be released early next year and will initially target travelers in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, Australia, and Europe, with plans to gradually expand. The services will reportedly allow its customers to book flights and hotels through major booking sites, Booking.com, Expedia, Agoda, C-Trip, okay, as well as Travel by Bit's own platform. Cool. I think there was like a photo. Is this right here? Yeah, here's the actual photo of the card. It says Satoshi Nakamoto. That's so cheesy. Cool. Awesome. Amazing. Everyone's launching some type of a card. A lot of the cards that we saw in 2017, 2018 have disappeared. It's not very likely that people are going to, and I appreciate the fact that they're trying to just make this more mainstream than it already is and trying to make it as like an actual payment option. From what it seems like, a lot of people aren't too keen on spending their crypto at the moment, as everyone is anticipating a potential rise, a massive rise in price at some point. I know there are people out there who actually live off of crypto, so I guess that's maybe more for them than anything. I just realized it's coming out of his TV. I didn't understand what it was. I for some reason just thought he was like holding on to the bottom of the plane as it was flying toward. You see what I mean? I thought this part right here was actually part of the plane, and I thought it was just flying part of the. So Binance has a new card, gives travel rewards. We'll see if it catches on. I think these crypto cards and these crypto payment options won't catch on for quite some time, and I mean like 3+ years. We need really big, like I've discussed with multiple friends before, as far as like, when do you plan on selling your crypto? And most of my friends are like, I'll start selling Bitcoin when it passes by like 100,000, maybe to like $250,000. Like that's when I'll start actually using it, or start buying property and stuff like that. I don't know not many a person who's willing to part ways with their Bitcoin at the current price. But anyway, here's the actual blog post, and let's move on. Next up, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman arrived in the United Arab Emirates for an official visit yesterday to discuss joint policy measures, including a digital currency plan. On the 27th of November, private English-language daily UAE newspaper known as The National reported that Prince Mohammed was welcomed by His Highness, that's a very long name, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE Armed Forces. The two leaders are reported to have officially agreed on 4 new policy partnerships and to have reviewed 7 strategic initiatives. On the policy, or the agenda, was a policy to launch a digital currency to facilitate interbank trading between the two countries. Details of the jointly issued digital currency were revealed by the UAE Central Bank and the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority, SAMA, in January of this year. Today's discussion situates, the policy among the foremost partnership between the countries, alongside agreements that include the construction of a new major oil refinery with a daily capacity of, 1.2 million barrels daily, and to cooperate on cybersecurity. The point being, this is another collective of countries who have agreed on creating, here's the actual news article right here, on creating their own digital currency. Once again, the last 3-4 months, for some reason, we've seen a major uptick, and I keep assuming that it's had to do with the announcement of Libra. I mean, it seems fairly obvious, but what keeps happening over and over is that just about every week, twice a week, once a week, we're getting a new country and or group of countries who are announcing that they're going to be launching their own digital currency of some sort. The most interesting part about this one is that it's going to be like an interbank kind of thing, which I assume can only assume means that the transactions will be happening between the UAE countries, which once again sets us up for that discussion of countries who are announcing that they're going to be creating some type of a digital currency that also allows them to get away from the grip of a country who might be telling them what they can and cannot do with their own money. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the things that we're just not hearing, especially as these other countries are coming forward talking about that they're going to be making their own digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, yada, 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 comes down to the fact that they're also probably building framework to work amongst each other as well. I forgot the exact number of countries who are currently under sanctions. I think it's more than 11, around maybe less than 16. That's still a huge amount of countries in the world who are just not part of, air quotes, the current world economy. It's a lot, especially if imagine running a country and then a country on the other side of the world was like, nope, sit down, you can't do anything. You'd get a little angry. So we are going to see a world very soon that is going to try to be dominated by not only Bitcoin, but other coins from other nations who are tired of being told what to do. And imagine in 5 years. I mean, it's all completely plausible. They could do this right now with Bitcoin, but I assume it's widely believed that in the future, Bitcoin is just going to be a major store of value. And this is where we get those crazy price numbers from. This is probably why the nations are probably they're not running towards just swapping Bitcoin back and forth between themselves at the moment. Probably going to live in a world very soon where we have different, what's it called? Not monetary policies. Like one part of the world will run on one system and the other part of the world will run another system and another part of the world will run another system as well. Like they're all going to have their own separate little entities, because even just based off of what we've seen a couple of weeks ago, remember the news that we had what was it, that group of countries who were talking about launching their own digital currency that would stop the reliance on the US dollar. I mean, it was a bit more difficult before a couple of years ago, before we had the digital currencies, or before digital currencies really kind of took off. But alas, here we are. They're announcing just about every week a new countries that they're going to be launching their own digital coin. Yeah. Oh, next up. They're trying to find like the most important part to read. Apparently, the Bitcoin futures markets contracts have now reached $5 billion in daily volumes. Bitcoin price discovery mechanisms have shifted in 2019 as the effects of futures is felt more strongly. Those markets invite traders betting only on price moves with little regard to Bitcoin scarcity on the real-world adoption of the asset. Since Bitcoin is notoriously volatile, trades are made on the back of the dollar price. The latest estimations see the futures volume reach as high as $5 billion daily. Even just talking about this part for half a second, I can't remember the exact phrasing of it. Andreas Antonopoulos was recently talking about this, and he said what a lot of people who trade Bitcoin futures don't realize is that they're usually majoritively just trading in US dollars or maybe in euros or however it may be denominated. He said they don't really understand the impact of Bitcoin itself. He said a lot of people who are trading Bitcoin don't understand that Bitcoin is scarce. They see it as a way to make money. They don't understand the actual global implications of governments collapsing, banks falling apart, and people within these countries, maybe even if it's just 10,000 people going to buy Bitcoin. And as it continues to do more and more and more, he said, like, I think he referred to it as like a black hole. Like they're throwing US dollars into something to bet against Bitcoin, and then they're paid back in money that has also lost value a couple of days before because of the inflation rate of the US dollar. It was very fascinating to think about. He said, and as this continues on, he said that there's going to be a separate market. There's going to be a market for people who realize the monetary effects or benefits of Bitcoin, where Bitcoin could go and where Bitcoin is probably going to go in the next couple of years. And we're still going to have a market full of people who are just betting on Bitcoin or against Bitcoin in US dollars without realizing that they're throwing their money into basically into a pit. It's very fascinating. The second part is that for some odd reason, a little chart over here as well, Bitcoin futures volumes have exploded in the last couple of weeks. No one's really sure why. People are saying that institutions are getting more into it. The, confidence has returned to the market. People are seeing that Bitcoin is going to go back up. Bitcoin tried to bottom. Bitcoin is yada, yada, yada. You know, the whole speech that we've all had before. And therefore, it looks like that Bitcoin may be poised for a higher movement. I don't know if that's exactly it. Not that Bitcoin isn't going to move up, but it's like we're seeing a massive spike in the amount of people who are buying into the futures now. And I wonder if that's indicative of something else. If they know something else that we simply don't know, like if something new is coming out, someone else is going to announce a trading platform, this yada yada, custody service, and therefore this is why maybe institutions are betting billions per day on the future price of Bitcoin. I don't know. I still have a feeling that we're very close to another announcement, not something like really, I don't know, something New York Stock Exchange-y or like NASDAQ-y, talking about something that they're going to be launching. I think the last one that we had from the major ones was Fidelity about a month ago, that they were going to be launching something in 2020. And I think also the people from, sorry, I'm like banging on my table. The people from Bakkt are launching, I think, Bitcoin options on the 6th of December. That could be what it is. Maybe because we're moving really close to that. This is why we see like a huge uptick, because we keep getting news every single day. There was even more news than the one we had yesterday, that the Bakkt futures is also like seeing another uptick in daily volume. Fascinating. Anyway, let's move on. So this, long story short, it says Coinbase has not agreed to acquire the crypto brokerage Tagomi. So there's no acquisition planned. This was said by Rachel Horowitz from the Coinbase communication team. The rumor of Coinbase acquiring Tagomi is not true. This was said by a Tagomi spokeswoman. San Francisco-based crypto exchange Coinbase was said to have acquired prime broker Tagomi for $150 million. According to a source who claimed familiarity with the matter, Tagomi, which has raised $28 million in venture capital funding from firms like Pantera and Morgan Creek, was reported by the block on the, I'm seeing a pattern, on the 15th of November to be in acquisition talks with Coinbase. Working backwards, now it all kind of makes a bit more sense. For those of you who have heard this name before, I don't get my news from them, and I definitely will not be trying to do so anymore. The block, apparently, this is what I'm seeing in the on the interwebs. They keep releasing false news, and apparently, I think people use them as a very trusted source. And usually, a couple of hours later, stuff that they have released as news ends up allegedly being false. Remember a couple of days ago when they had announced that Binance had been raided and had been shut down, and then people from Binance were like, "We don't even have a physical location. What did they shut down?" And the CEO of Binance was like, "Yeah, we're going to press charges against." Is that the phrase? Whatever. You know what I mean. Against the people from the block. And this was the news yesterday as well. Everyone was kind of going crazy about this, that Coinbase had another acquisition that was going on for $150 million. Everyone lost their minds. Apparently, from both sides, Coinbase has said it's not true, and Tagomi said it's not true, and it was reported by the block. So like I said, there's a pattern. So yeah, that was the nope, it didn't happen. I saw people losing their minds about this. I didn't get a chance to report about it. And lo and behold, didn't even apparently happen according to both sources. And to kind of finish things off, Bitcoin is green. It's not red, at least at the moment. It says Bitcoin price set to reclaim 8,000, but a rising wedge is worrying bulls. That doesn't make any sense. The point is that we look like we're doing fairly well. There were a number of articles at the beginning of this week that were talking about, look at the bulls in the back, like so shocked that they're like, oh my gosh. The amount of articles that I saw at the beginning of this week that was talking about that Bitcoin was going back down to 5,000 during this week. Of course, that didn't happen. I just saw an article talking about that Bitcoin is going back to 1,000. Sure. Why not? Stake your bets. People keep... I don't understand the need or desire to release an article that says that Bitcoin is going back to 1,000, and then it doesn't, and then they keep releasing articles that say Bitcoin's going to go to 1,000. Anyway, the point is, we're green right now. We passed the test of, I think for the first time ever, of the futures expiration of the CME group, and typically at the end of an expiration date, which was yesterday, Bitcoin drops in price. We did not drop in price. We actually went up in price. So hopefully this is an indicator of things to come, especially maybe even over the weekend. I think the number that we have to pass by now is, I think, 8,100. And that apparently will set a sequence of events off that could lead us then to 10,000. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, A Bibliophobia, Barebones Mining, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohair Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Brady Niels, Woody and Daisy, Triple M and J, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Mill, Wheezy, Mechanic, Strange Radio Central, Crypto Artist, Cold D3D, Cryptopolis, Nicholas from North One Piece One Love, Damian, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich the Third, Vlad the Impaler, Krypton Beer Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Cementing Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, yes, 2, Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Sammy Baucha, Ting Tang Walla Walla Bang Bang, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, and Shoop Shoop, Diddy Wop, Hummer Wang Dang. Thank you all very, very much for your support. At the moment, a lot of coins are actually in red. Tether is in green. Tether's actually going up. Bitcoin seems relatively unfazed. We will probably see by the end of this day if this has any major effect on the price of Bitcoin, as Tether, once again, seems to be going up. Yeah, a lot of coins are also red in Satoshis and like hanging on to their greenness, as it were. Nothing is really... Huobi tokens up. Cool. Decred is also up on $41 million of trading volume. Nano's up on $3 million. Yep, all right. So we might be heading into a drop this weekend as I look at the prices. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. Make sure to enjoy your weekend. Go out and do something nice. I know it's cold, maybe depending on what part of the world you're in, but still go try and enjoy yourself. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.